No!
This is so bad.
Say hi.
Hi.
It's cold.
It's so freaking cold. I do not want to go out there.
What's the plan?
What's up, YouTube? It's Hair George. We are in the woods, in the mountains right now. It's like, I know, it's so cold. We are literally in the mountains, 4 miles from the nearest road. It's just like major rocks and dirt and gravel out here, and our tire is completely flat. We were driving back here, the public BLM land. I don't even know how that happened. I mean, the roads are really bad, but it's like we were driving on the road and our tire slashed. It's so bad. We were going really slow, trying to be careful and everything as we could, but it still happened. So we're up on a mountain, miles away from the nearest road, in the middle of the woods, and our tire is totally flat. And we don't have a jack to change it. And the wrench thing we have is not the same size as the lug nuts on the tire either. And we have no cell signal. You may be wondering, how did you get in this situation? Well, let me tell you. Okay, so here's the tire where it went flat. You can see very clearly, just like a long slash mark. Just right on the side, that's on the outside. Totally just went flat, just like that. Huge gaping slash.
No!
So we drove all the way out here because this is where the police officer said we're allowed to camp. It's just really, really unlevel. It's so hard to get here. Sorry, we're both shaking really bad. It's just freezing. I don't even know what the temperature is, and the wind too. But anyways, we don't have a jack. We do have a spare tire though. So what we're gonna do is there's lots of big rocks around here. So I'm gonna prop up the axle with the giant rock and then dig a hole where the flat tire is. Just dig it out and then put the spare on and then try to drive the 4 miles. It's 4 miles of like off-road. So we got 4 miles of off-road to go till we're on a main road, and then we can go be back in civilization and back to life and taking care of stuff. So I'm gonna go find a really big rock to prop this thing up. Hopefully you can see me and I'm not shaking too bad. We just saw a shooting star, yeah! We saw a giant, super bright shooting star up there. It was sweet. And then we both screamed because it was so cool. And now we're still trying to get out of here on the scary safari, as Vanessa calls it. I don't know why.
That's what.
Gotta take a look and see.
Shit. Okay, so we're trying to leave this little camping area and hear air coming out of something, and it sounds like it could be a tire may have popped. He just got out of the van to go check. We decided to turn back around because it's just too dangerous.
Got a flat.
I knew it.
We got a flat tire.
We need to go before it leaks more air.
It's totally flat. I might be able to change it. Okay, so I put socks on my hands to keep them warm. They're clean, thankfully. So I got the rocks under the axle. Now it's time to let the spare tire down. On vans like this, lots of vans and trucks, the spare tire is underneath on the outside, and there's a bolt on the inside that you have to like crank with the thing that gets the lug nuts off. It's like a wrench or something, but you gotta crank the bolt with that to let the spare tire come out. Well, remember that nice hardwood flooring I put in here? It's underneath that. Oh yeah, this hardwood flooring's so nice, right? In addition to it being underneath the hardwood flooring, it's actually vinyl, it's not hardwood, but it looks like hardwood. It's underneath the flooring, and I don't know where. Like, I have no clue where it's at. There's no manual to this. It's getting better and better, guys. But I do remember in the first video I made, the one called This Is My Story, Tiny House on Wheels, I showed the before and after of the flooring. So I went back and looked at the video, paused it, and I saw the nut that we need to loosen. So I know roughly about where it's at. And it should be located somewhere underneath our toilet. I know, even better. Luckily the toilet just comes right out. The toilet's out, but there's just that box. So I'm going to cut a hole about where that nut is so I can undo it, like loosen it with the thing, I don't know, and change the tire. And then when I'm done, the hole will be in the box that conceals the toilet. So you will not see it. Like, no one will ever see that I have to put a hole in the floor right now. It's perfect. It's like the perfect scenario. This is not perfect on so many levels, but If we're gonna get a totally blown flat tire with no jack in the middle of the mountains, miles away from civilization, it's good that we at least don't have to like ruin other parts of the van, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, so this box back here is actually the toilet's inside there. So just take this cover off. And like I said, the toilet's not in there right now. I took it out, but usually this is where the toilet's at. And that right there is the thing we need to loosen. Because I looked on the video, I knew about where it was, and I just cut a hole where I thought it was, and it was right. So just loosen that up. And then this is letting the spare tire down so I can go change it. Or at least start digging.
So since it's extremely cold and windy where we are, and I can't do much to help with changing the tire, all I can do is help keep him warm. And a trick I found, or I was taught as a flight attendant, when you're in cold situations, if you can get really hot water and put it into a water bottle, it becomes your own little personal heater. It was one of the best tips I had ever learned when you're flying long flights in the middle of the night and it's freezing. So hopefully this helps.
Hey, look, I got a baby too. So mine's a hot water bottle. Don't look. I'm so done right now and just being more and more stupid. So one thing you know if you've bought used vehicles before is that a lot of times they don't come with the manual and they don't come with the right tire change kit. That's exactly our situation. I got the spare tire off. It was rusted on there. I had to beat it with a hammer, but it came off. And then I went to take off the blown tire, and the wrench or whatever that came with the van is not the right size for those lug nuts. It's too big, so it doesn't loosen them at all. And there was no jack at all. I mean, that's just how the van was when I got it, and I was like, screw it. I don't know what I was thinking. I think I was thinking if we ever get a tire, we're screwed anyways. I have AAA actually, so they come out and change your tire for free. But we're on a mountain, and we have no signal, and they probably wouldn't come up the top of this mountain anyway, so I gotta figure it out. Thankfully, I have my own ratchet set, so we can still change the tire even though we don't have any of the right shit. We're just using rocks and this, and my good old hammer, and we're good to go.
But you're getting it done.
We're surviving out here. So the only reason I even have this ratchet in the first place is we bought it to change the alternator on this van before I converted it. Drove it down to Texas to see Vanessa, and the alternator and battery went out, so. Hey. And that's how you change a tire. Okay, so I have the lug nuts off. Now I just need to dig the hole. I don't have a shovel. I have a hammer. This hammer, we've done a lot together, so time to start digging. Okay, I got it. I almost don't even believe it. It fucking worked. We got the tire off with no jack. There, you see those rocks? There's two of them holding it up. That's just holding it up. Just dug a hole, pulled the tire off. Oh, fuck. Oh, that sucked. Digging a hole with a hammer is a lot harder than it sounds, especially when it's just a bunch of gravel and rocks. Oh, also another update, Vanessa had to go to the bathroom, so I had to put the toilet back, but that's okay. So I'm looking at this spare tire here, comparing it with the other one. That's a whole tire. I'm sorry, I know the light must be really bad, but we were just talking about the spare tire and like, it's probably just a donut, you know, which are not that great, and like, wondering if it would even make it out of these mountains. And if it did, we'd have to get it replaced like with an actual tire, which are pretty expensive. And we were like, we just don't want to spend the money if we don't have to. Not to mention, are we going to make it out of the mountains? Well, I just compared our spare tire with the one that went flat. They're exactly the same. This is not a donut, like a emergency only spare tire. This is a brand new tire on here. It looked like somebody had changed the tire on this before, not that long ago, probably before I bought it. What they must have done is got the one that went flat fixed and just put it back on as a spare. Like they must have bought a new tire, because we don't have 4 tires in a spare donut. We have 5 brand new tires. So we don't have to buy a tire. I mean, we'll want to buy one for a spare someday. Probably never. So we have 4 good tires. I think we're gonna make it out of these mountains okay. I'm so happy. I'm gonna tell Vanessa as soon as I get it on. feel like I'm one of those primitive surviving channels. That's what this channel's become. Go to the mountain, see if you could survive. You said you made me hot chocolate? Oh, thank you so much. So hey, guess what?
What?
You know the spare tire? How we were talking about like, oh, we didn't know if like a donut could make it down the mountain and stuff. We don't have a donut.
Why?
What we have is a brand new tire. It's a full-size brand new tire. It's exactly like the one that popped.
They put a brand new tire on this?
Yeah. Remember I was telling you when I was like getting the stuff and starting to change it, I said it looked like somebody had changed the tire recently?
Yeah.
They must have had to buy a new one, and then when they fixed the one that went flat, they must have put that on as a spare. Because it's freaking brand new.
Oh, yay.
I know. I think we're going to make it out of this mountain. Woo! Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention is on these trails, people like ride horses out here, and there's like a bunch of horse shit on the ground here. And I plopped down and laid right in it before I realized what it was. Don't tell Vanessa though. See all that? Ew. GoPro's almost dead, but it is almost 1 in the morning and we are ready to get off this mountain. For the last 4 hours, we've either been driving or changing the tire. It's literally been over 4 hours trying to get off this mountain. We are 1/3 of the way there. Hopefully we have no more incidents. 12:48 in the morning. Woo. Ready to go.
Focus. No. Like, what I don't understand is how, like, I get on the left and the right is where the tires, like, from multiple people driving through. But the middle part is so high up. It's like, how high are these vehicles that are traveling that don't?
Yeah. Well, we do sit pretty low.
Yeah.
Like an RV or a truck.
Oh no! Look at it.
No. We've driven almost 6 miles on this road.
Damn it! Oh, careful the middle. Look, I just see a big rock. No!
This is so bad.
Oh shit! That sounds gross. I don't like this screeching sound.
We made it off the mountain. Actually, we're still on the mountain, but we made it onto a road. You can see the city way up there. I don't know if you can see it or not, but... And it only took us a half hour to go the rest of those 4 miles. Which isn't bad, actually. We got through the worst part before the tire went flat. So even if we do run out of gas, at least it's downhill from here and we'll be okay. Civilization! We made it! Yay! Oh! We made it, but boy, we just barely made it, running low on fuel, you know what I'm saying? We made it! We made it! We could do anything.